As the sun set over the small town of Willow Creek, a sense of despair settled over the humble home of the late John Harrison. His wife Sarah stood in the dimly lit living room, her eyes fixed on the three young faces before her. Their children, Emily, Michael, and little Sarah, looked up at her with tear-stained faces, their world shattered by the loss of their beloved father. The days that followed were a blur of grief and uncertainty. Sarah struggled to come to terms with the fact that she would be raising their children alone. The weight of responsibility threatened to consume her, but she refused to give in. She remembered the words of her husband, spoken just days before his passing. "Sarah, my love, I know I'll be gone soon, but I have faith in you. You'll hold our family together. Trust in God and He'll guide you." With newfound determination, Sarah turned to her faith, pouring her heart out to God in prayer. She begged for strength, provision, and direction, trusting that He would see her through the darkest of times. As she prayed, a sense of peace settled over her, and she knew that she was not alone. As she navigated the complex world of finances, Sarah discovered that her husband had been in business with a powerful figure, Mr. Thompson. The two had been partners in a lucrative venture, but when John passed away, Mr. Thompson seemed reluctant to discuss the details of the business. Sarah's instincts told her something was amiss, but she was too grief-stricken to confront him. Weeks turned into months, and Sarah struggled to make ends meet. She received a visit from Mr. Thompson, who presented her with a somber expression and a check for 10% of the business's profits. He claimed that John had been an employee, not a partner, and that this was the best he could offer. Sarah was devastated, but she tried to remain calm, trusting that God would see her through. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah's faith continued to grow. She prayed for her children, for provision, and for justice. She knew that she had been wronged, but she left the matter in God's hands. Meanwhile, her children began to heal, their smiles returning as they found comfort in their mother's unwavering love. But Sarah's trials were far from over. As the months passed, she received eviction notices and her bank account dwindled. It seemed as though the world was against her. Yet, she refused to give up, trusting that God had a plan to prosper her, not to harm her. One day, as she was cleaning the house, Sarah stumbled upon a folder containing documents that her husband had hidden away. As she flipped through the papers, her eyes widened in shock. The documents revealed that John had been a 50% partner in the business, and Mr. Thompson had been deceiving her. She felt a surge of anger and betrayal, but she knew that she had to take action. With newfound determination, Sarah sought the advice of a lawyer. Together, they built a case against Mr. Thompson, and the battle for justice began. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, but Sarah remained steadfast, her faith unwavering. As the court date approached, Sarah's anxiety grew. What if she lost? What if Mr. Thompson's wealth and influence proved too much for her? But she remembered the words of her husband, "Trust in God, and He'll guide you." The day of the court hearing arrived, and Sarah stood before the judge, her heart pounding in her chest. Mr. Thompson sat confidently in the dock, a smug expression on his face. But as the evidence was presented, his demeanor began to change. The documents Sarah had found proved that John had been a 50% partner, and Mr. Thompson's deceit was exposed. The judge's verdict was swift and decisive. Mr. Thompson was ordered to pay Sarah 50% of the business's profits, plus damages for his deceitful actions. As the gavel came down, Sarah felt a rush of emotions. Tears of joy streamed down her face as she hugged her children, her heart full of gratitude to God. As they left the courtroom, Mr. Thompson's expression had changed from confidence to shock and shame, before he was taken away by the police. He approached Sarah, his eyes downcast, and offered a heartfelt apology. Sarah, with a newfound sense of compassion, forgave him, knowing that God had seen her through the darkest of times. The days that followed were filled with celebration and reflection. Sarah's children smiled more, their laughter echoing through the halls of their home once again. Sarah's faith had been tested, but it had emerged stronger than ever. She knew that she had been given a rare gift, the chance to experience the power of God's justice and provision. As she looked at her children, she knew that she had done it. She had held on to her faith, and it had held her family together. The experience had taught her a powerful lesson, that justice may be delayed, but it is always worth the wait. She realized that her faith had been the anchor that had held her family together, and she knew that she would always trust in God's goodness and provision. Sarah's story spread like wildfire through the community, inspiring countless women who had lost their way in the midst of grief and struggle. She became a beacon of hope, a reminder that faith and perseverance can move mountains. And as she looked up at the sky, she smiled, knowing that her husband was watching over her, proud of the strong woman she had become. The experience had left her with scars, but it had also given her a newfound sense of purpose. She knew that she would continue to trust in God, even in the darkest of times, knowing that He would always be her rock, her refuge, and her guiding light. And as she wrapped her arms around her children, she knew that she would always be their rock, their safe haven, and their guiding light, shining brightly for all to see. In the end, Sarah's story became a testament to the power of faith and resilience. It showed that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, and that justice will always be served. And as she looked into the eyes of her children, she knew that she would always be grateful for the journey, no matter how painful it had been, for it had taught her the greatest lesson of all, the power of faith, love, and perseverance. Hope whispers secrets to the brave. Hold on, sunrise follows darkness. If you learned, don't forget to subscribe for daily doses of resilience.